Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jozer. Last time you guys saw this car, it was getting prepped and getting ready for GAT, and we had a great time in GAT. Got to show it off, and I'm glad we pulled it off because we only had about 3 weeks to do it. And honestly, came out amazing, especially with the time that we did have, and also the experience. Like, this is the first time I've ever wrapped a car, first time I've ever done this much to a car. Custom side skirts. We had made the custom splitter, which got destroyed on the way back from Tennessee. Now, for those who are asking why don't I have my front bumper on, for those who do know and follow me on Instagram at JozurDrives on all platforms, you know that I made the car lower, and it probably wasn't the greatest idea. As you see, we're tucking, and that is, I'll show a picture right here of how different it actually looked at GAT. We slammed this thing, especially when I put the 19s back on. And now with that being said, there's a lot more that I want to do with this car, and that was just the start and the inspiration that I got from what I actually want to do. So from the beginning, this car was ideally made to be a time attack car. I'm really a fan of all the aero components and all the aerodynamics and looks that come with time attack cars. One of the first reasons I fell in love with time attack was going to Grid Life. And for those who are not familiar with Grid Life, it is a drifting slash track slash time attack event that everyone goes to. It's a mix up of all the types of driving, and I think that's what really got me into it. I think seeing all the aerodynamics, seeing a bunch of other Zs that actually aren't just for drifting was a main selling point to me, that this car was actually more than just another VQ or another drift missile, you know? And for those asking yourself, why a 370Z? It weighs over 3,000 pounds. It's probably one of the heavier JDM chassis, and it's not really known to be a time attack car. For those who don't know, the 370Z actually just beat the world time attack record in rear-wheel drive class at Super Lab Battle by Jonathan Wheeler. I hope I'm saying his name right. But he was actually supercharged. I don't plan to go that route, even though I love the instant response. I'm planning to go a different route, but we can talk about that later on. Now, one of the biggest things that is a challenge when it comes to the Z is weight. This car weighs over 3,300 pounds, and that is not acceptable when it comes to time attacking. And we're not a Porsche. We don't have 400 or 500 horsepower yet. We don't have all the suspension that European companies do have. So we're just gonna have to get rid of some weight. That's gonna be the first step, is getting the car down to a shell. Now I know you're thinking, Jozer, you just made the car pretty. Well, I didn't. Although I'm very proud of the progress that we made on the car, there's so many things that I just don't like, you know? There's things that, like the wrap, there's the side skirts, everything does look cool. Everything did perform while I was in Gatlinburg. Everything looked great while I was there. But that was just the test example. I'm really looking for something permanent here. So I wanted to see if this is the color I wanted to go with. I wanted to see if this is the style aero I wanted. I wanted to see if I basically wanted to show off the car as a V1. Even though it did come out pretty nice, I want it to be so much nicer. The car honestly has so much potential when it comes to the track, and I don't want to just be scared to touch it. I don't want to be scared of anything. I really want to get to know this chassis in and out. I had a great time driving it through the mountains and through the canyons and having a great time in Gatlinburg, although this car really needs to see some track time. I didn't get to see much track time this year due to just being busy or just falling short of dates and planning late. So this year, hopefully we can get the car done in time, but if not, the goal is to just build this car for what I want it to be, and that is perfect. That doesn't mean perfect to you, it just means perfect to me and to the steps that I want to take, and that doesn't mean I have to include every single expensive part on this build, even though nothing's going to be cheap. And for building the car, getting parts and everything, it's going to be a slow process, and getting parts and stuff like that isn't quite easy. It's going to cost money. I'm going to get as much help as I can from all the companies that I would like to help out. I don't want any cheap parts on this build. I want this build to be a complete, perfect track car. I don't want any issues when I'm on track that I shouldn't be having, you know? You might be asking, so what exactly are your plans for the car? And honestly, I don't know completely. I do know where I want to go and the direction I want to go. And the beginning is to just honestly start removing this car. It's getting everything down to the bare chassis. It's getting everything down to clean it up. I would like to get the shell in one color. I would like to paint the car in the other. It's going to be a slow process, like I said again, but honestly, it's going to be all worth it. Now, I am going to miss the red, but I'm not unwrapping it today. I want to get all the interior done. I want to get, well, most of the interior. I don't want to take it all out. I do want to still be able to drive the car. I do want to feel what it's like to have no weight in it, you know, and drive it. I've never felt what it's like to drive a gutted car, so we are going to have our fun with that and show off that. As far as the exterior goes, I do want to wait till it is a little warmer. I do live in Illinois and it is cold as hell right now. I'm in the garage, I have the heater on. It's a lot more comfortable than it is in being outside, but it's obviously not as comfortable and not the ideal conditions you want to be working with. Especially if I'm going to be removing paint off the car, removing wrap off the car. I would like for it to be a little warmer, a little sunnier, and yeah. So I think it's time to get some B-roll of the car, get some B-roll of the interior while it's still there. Enjoy it for what it is for right now, but this car is getting ripped apart, so let's do it. I don't know how it even threaded in. What is it like?
Huh?
All right, so as you see, we took a lot of interior pieces out, more than a lot. I didn't realize how much interior pieces actually were in this car. But yeah, the car is pretty much gutted from the rear. I just have like little stuff. So we have, I'll actually show you guys, we have the, I think it's a Bose amp, and I think it's just some other stuff for the traction control and a bunch of stuff. So I'll have to figure what I can unplug and what I can't. Next video, we'll get the front half done, because this is going to be a whole video in itself. I'm going to have to get the dash out, the carpets, everything else. So